This segment will show you how to fasten the hitch brackets and the axle brackets to the assembly. First, let's attach the hitch brackets, Part 3. Start by placing the tray upside down with the tines pointing up. Then, thread 2 hex bolts, Part B, through the end of one of the hitch brackets. Slide the hitch bracket bolts in between the 2 bolts holding the front of the hitch mount arms together. Now, add the other hitch bracket on top of the bolts. Secure the bolts with 2 nylock nuts, Part H. Do not fully tighten these bolts yet. Next, insert a hitch pin, Part G, through the hitch brackets and secure it with a hair cotter pin, Part F. Next, you will go back and tighten some of the nuts and bolts that you left loose in segment 3. First, tighten the nuts and bolts in the hitch brackets. Then, tighten the nuts and bolts in the front ends of the hitch mount arms. Now, tighten the nuts and bolts attaching the 2 hitch arm mount brackets and 2 angle brackets to the bottom of the rear of the tine shield. Then tighten the nuts and bolts attaching the 2 angle brackets to the bottom of the front of the tine shield. Now, tighten the nuts and bolts attaching the front 2 angle brackets to the hitch mount arms at the front of the tine shield. After you tighten these, loosen them slightly. Finally, tighten the nuts and bolts attaching the 2 hitch mount arm brackets to the hitch mount arms at the rear of the tine shield. Next, attach the axle bracket, Part 4. Place the axle bracket on the outside of the angle brackets at the rear of the tine shield. The ends of the bracket must point toward the front of the tine shield. Fasten the bracket using 2 hex bolts, Part D, and nylock nuts, Part H. Fully tighten the nuts and bolts and then loosen them slightly.